Are there any exceptions to mandatory car insurance laws? If you have ever wondered whether there are any exceptions to mandatory car insurance laws, you are not alone. Many drivers are curious about the rules that govern car insurance and if they apply to everyone. Let's break it down together. Mandatory car insurance laws requiring most drivers to carry a minimum level of liability coverage. This coverage is meant to protect others in case of an accident. While nearly every state enforces these laws, there are specific exceptions and alternative ways to meet financial responsibility requirements. First, certain types of vehicles may be exempt from mandatory insurance requirements. For instance, in some states, mopeds or vehicles over a certain age, like horseless carriages that are over 40 years old, do not need to be insured. Additionally, vehicles owned by the state or public agencies may also be exempt. These exemptions are based on the vehicle's classification or ownership, not the driver. Second, if you operate a vehicle registered in another state, you may be able to follow the insurance laws of that state while driving in a different state. This means that if you are visiting or temporarily driving in another state, you only need to meet the insurance requirements of your home state. However, it is essential to have proof of that insurance available if law enforcement asks for it. Third, some states allow alternatives to traditional insurance. Instead of purchasing a policy, drivers can post a bond, deposit cash, or provide a certificate of deposit with the state's motor vehicle department. The amount required for these alternatives varies by state and is often much higher than the cost of a standard insurance policy. This option is less common and can be riskier, as the driver is personally responsible for any claims up to the amount deposited. Lastly, in rare cases, states like New Hampshire do not require car insurance at all. Instead, drivers must prove they have the financial means to pay for damages if they cause an accident. If they cannot provide proof, their license and registration can be suspended. In practical terms, while most drivers must purchase a policy, these exceptions and alternatives exist. Insurance companies often highlight the convenience and security of having a policy since alternatives like bonds or deposits can be expensive and challenging to manage. For most drivers, it is easier and safer to buy car insurance rather than relying on exemptions or alternatives. Insurance provides predictable costs, legal protection, and peace of mind. If you qualify for an exemption, it is important to understand the specific rules in your state and always carry the required documentation when driving. So, if you own a standard vehicle and drive regularly, you will almost always need car insurance. However, if you own a special type of vehicle, can prove financial responsibility in other ways, or live in a state with unique laws, you may be exempt. Always check your state's requirements to ensure you are following the law.